What's going on, everyone? I'm Zach, and this is going to be a tutorial on how to use trapcode sound keys and as well using the built-in plugin in After Effects called Audio Spectrum. And we're going to be able to work with both of them at the same time to kind of create an overlay kind of visual either for your YouTube channel, for your music channel that you might run on YouTube, or anything visual that you're trying to sync up with music. This would really help. So yeah, let's get right into it. I want to apologize for the people who've been waiting for a video from me. I've just been really busy and haven't gotten the time to do one of these, so I finally came up with an idea on what I do, and I thought this was perfect. So, so yeah, let's get right into it. Basically, in After Effects, there's something called Audio Spectrum. If you search in your effects and presets, it literally is called Audio Waveform and Audio Spectrum. I like to use Spectrum. It's really cool. So what you're actually going to want to do is let's make a new composition just so we can, start. So I just run 16:9 like aspect ratio, just 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second. Let's just make the duration 5 minutes because most songs are almost around that. Yeah, they're just around a couple minutes. So just do that. And then, yeah, we'll get, obviously, our black screen. So basically, we just need to make a new layer solid. And it will probably default make it the comp setting. So just hit OK. And we're going to want to go ahead and add, well, actually, let's just drag it on here, Audio Spectrum. And you'll see we'll get this little line here. And this is basically what you should see right when starting out. And we're going to change it to look a lot different. But before I do that, you guys actually need to have some sort of logo or some kind of display. I mean, honestly, you don't have to, but I think it's going to look a lot better if you do. So I'm literally just going to go and import a little logo from here. What's it called? Organic. Here it is. Alright, so shout out to my friend Opak for making this logo for me. Really appreciate it. Let's go ahead. Oh, it's huge. So let's scale that down. And I'm sorry if this tutorial runs a little longer. I haven't made one in forever, so it could be a little longer, but just bear with me. We'll get through it. So yeah. So once you basically have your logo, you're going to want to kind of think what you want to do with this audio spectrum. Honestly, you could just take it, move your start and end points down here, and you could move it down here. And you could just have the audio spectrum kind of move up and down from the bottom of the screen. But what is really cool, if you have a circular logo, you can use something called, actually I'm just going to, one second. Bring it back to normal. We're actually just going to use something called polar coordinates and drag that onto your black solid. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to create a circle with it. And I don't know all the details behind it, but it works. So you're actually just going to want to take the polar to rectangle. I think that's what it is. Click that and change it to rect to polar. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but then literally just bump your interpolation up to 100 and it will create a circle. Now the problem is that it's not all the way around, and if you do want that, you can make it a little bit kind of off, like so it kind of makes it more of like a like an oval or egg-shaped, and you can make it so it fits around, but I like to just make it 100 and have a little bit of space off. But again, it's up to you. So now that we have this, we're actually just going to change our color to white, so it basically just matches the whole theme of it. And I'm going to kind of zoom in here so you guys can see. What we're going to do is change the thickness to... Actually, I don't know how thick we want it. We'll change that later. Make the softness actually maybe like 5. Honestly, you don't need a lot of softness. And then go ahead and make your maximum height. I'd say around like 800, 900. But in order to see an actual change, we kind of have to import a music file because the audio spectrum needs to line up with some frequencies. So let's go ahead and import a song. It literally can be any song. For this kind of spectrum to look really cool, I like using really bass-heavy songs. So any type of electro song or trap step song, that works really well, I've learned. So I have like a bunch, and I'll find one. Sorry for the wait. Let's find something. Yeah, I have so much music on my computer, it's ridiculous. Okay, that could work. Alright, we're gonna use cashingout.com Festival Trap Remix. Actually, I really love the song. Actually, you know what? We're gonna use Bricks. No, I want to do Cashing Out. Sorry, changed my mind. All right. So once you have the song, just drag it into your layers, and then we just need to go into our effects controls for the black solid or the audio spectrum and change the audio layer to match with the song you want. So in this case, it's Cashing Out. So do that, and now you'll start to see it move as we go across the timeline, and that's really cool. So what we can actually do is increase the frequency bands, and what this is going to do is it's going to make it a lot more unnoticeable that it's actual little lines, and it'll look more like a how do I explain it? I don't know how to explain it. It's just going to look a lot smoother and kind of thicker, which will look really good. So down here in side options, this is going to determine which side the spectrum is on, if it's on the bottom or the top. And in this case, we want it going out, so we're going to press side B, and this is going to go out. So, and if you wanted, I guess if you wanted it inside, you could do that and do something cool with that. But we want side B for now. So let's see. So we got this kind of thing, and right now we have a lot of honestly we have like the whole audio spectrum. We have it from the 20 hertz frequency to 2000 hertz frequency, which is pretty much the whole song. Most bass is going to come in at around 20 hertz, excuse me. So that's where it's kind of standard. But we're going to actually go ahead and keep it at 20, but then we want to lower our end frequency to about, honestly, you decide. I think I really like doing around like 300. I think that looks really good. So what you can do here with this is I like to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change the end and start points of here. So what it's actually going to do is we're going to make it so that it's half of the sphere or half of the circle, so that we can duplicate it and it will be a reflection basically. So let's change the start point to about right up top. So make it around 0, because I think that's what it needs to be. Yeah, make it at 0, and then make your end point. Zoom in until you see this, like these two little dots, and then just mess with, oh, there's my dog. Mess with it until it gets right about in the center. So that's perfectly in the center. So now we have a line going like this around the whole thing. So, or around half of it. So what we can actually go ahead and do is change the start point, like the right coordinate, and just bring that down, bring it up, excuse me, until it blends in, so we can't see that there's an actual line. So now it's blended in and it looks really cool. And if we do the same with the endpoint, just bring it up a little bit, we're only gonna see a little bit of the song. And so basically this is probably the bass that I'm guessing. So if you double tap L on your keyboard for a shortcut, if you're selecting your song, it will bring up the waveform. And let's actually go ahead and get a little closer. Figure out where the bass drop is, because that can be really helpful when you're doing this kind of thing. So let's bring, I think it's actually right around here. If we just render it out real quick. it's going to be pretty pretty low. We won't see a lot because we haven't changed anything. But yeah, just let it go for a second. And as you can see, it's perfectly synced up. And I don't know if I'm recording, what is it, sound on my computer, so you may not hear it very well because it's coming through my speakers. And if you can't hear it at all, I'm sorry. But it is coming through well, and it sounds really good. So, and it's synced up perfectly. So I actually kind of want to change it. I don't like the position of this right here because it's like it's kind of too up top. I kind of want it more at like a 45-degree angle. So we'll go into our black solid and we can actually change the start frequency. So I want to change it actually down to 1. So now if we do 1 and we kind of render it out real quick, the start frequency is going to kind of start, or the bass is going to be at 20 hertz. But right here, if you see my mouse, this is at 1 hertz. So 20 hertz is right here, and I guess 300 is right here. The 20 hertz, where the big kick is coming in, is going right here. So that gives it a little extra space, and it actually looks really cool. So if we play it out again. You see it synced up, and it actually looks a lot better. So what we're actually going to go ahead and do is we're going to duplicate this layer by pressing Command-D, which is your shortcut for duplicating, and then actually just go ahead and use your, forget what these are called, your like boundary things, and on the side there's a little red box. Just click it, drag until you get to the other side. So it should be perfect. And if it doesn't look right, just press Scale or press S on your keyboard, and then look at this number right here. Right now it says -99.8. We want to change it to -100. Oops, yeah, -100. Now it's perfect. So if we play it, now it's a mirrored image, and it looks really cool. Let it go again. So it actually looks really cool. So now we basically got this down, and to add some cool effects, I'm actually going to show you that you can actually go selecting either one of the your black solids with the audio spectrum in there. Type in glow on your effects and presets over here, and just drag it in or drag it onto this layer. I think this is the one we selected. Yeah. So now we can mess with some of the settings. And as you can kind of see, this little point is glowing a little bit, and we want it a little more. So we're going to just bump up the radius just a tad, and then you can change the glow intensity, to however much you want. I kind of want to make it a little more. And as you can see these sort of like line things or these bumps, and that's because we actually need to go into our audio spectrum again and bump up the frequency bands. So if I bump that up to, I don't know, 700 or so, you're going to see less of those little lines, or they're at least going to be smaller. And it's kind of hard getting around it, but when your video, when your video is this far away and people are watching it, you really can't tell, so you'll be fine. Now what this is actually going to do is it's going to increase your render time when you're increasing these bands, because it's more to process. But if you have the time and you have a good computer, it's honestly not that bad, but just keep that in mind. So I need to go back into our first black solid and change that. So it's 693. I'll change this to 693 as well. So now we can actually just go back into our first black solid, copy this glow by hitting Command C, and going into our first one, hitting Command V. And now we get, it's glowing now. So if we play it, or render it, And now you can see it's starting to take a little longer because we added glow and we added some more bands, which increases render time. I'll let this render out for a second. It's brief, but you can see what I'm talking about. It just gives it a better effect. So, next step. Now that we have this, and I want to also tell you something. With each song, it's going to vary on how high these bands go. Some of them could be really bass heavy, and it could shoot up a lot. So before you render each video, just make sure that it doesn't clip. And what I mean, like clipping, it will actually and you see how there's a curve right here? It will actually go straight, and you don't want that. So it would probably be up here somewhere, but make sure it doesn't do that. So now that we're here, our next step is to do, how much time do we have? 16 minutes, dang. Our next step is to go ahead and add sound keys. So with sound keys, we just need to add a new solid and go down to Trapcode sound keys. Alright, so as you can see, we get this weird looking HUD. It kind of looks really weird. But go ahead and select your audio layer up here and just make it whatever song you have. I'm using Cashing Out. 1 second. So when you're doing this, we need to go and what am I doing? Sorry. So go actually find like the part of the song where the bass comes in, because this is where you want the beat to be. You want your logo and your sound waves to be pumping. So find the spot, I guess, wherever there's a kick, I guess. So drag your render time thing over here so we can kind of figure out where it is. Let me see it. Be able to find out. So actually, we're right on it. So right here is the highest spot, I guess. So yeah, right here is the highest spot. And just use this thing. This is a this is like a little box that you can change. Just move it all the way up to fit your little like. It's going to be orange, and that's where your highest point of it is. It's going to be right here. Just trace it with this box so it goes around it. And then after you do that, hit apply. And you're going to see this little green thing right here. Basically what it means is that at the very top, that's where like it's going to be affecting it 100%. So think of this number as 0 and think of this as 100. Right now it's probably at about like 85, 90. So it's only going to be at 85% of whatever you're affecting. And I'll show you when we type in our command, but yeah, that's basically what it is. So now that we've hit apply, we can actually go turn back on these things since we're not going to be rendering. And I'm actually going to select all three of our logo thing. We have the two audio spectrums that have been flipped, and we have our organic circle logo, or whatever you're using. It doesn't matter. Just right click and hit Precompose. Now this is basically going to put it into like a folder or a composition, like a composition folder. So if you double click it, you'll be able to go into that composition. I like to think of them as folders, just so it's all being affected. So we'll actually just call this circle logo. It really doesn't matter what you call it. So you can just double click it. So if you want to go ahead and like edit that, it's right here. Okay, so what we can go ahead and do is go into our circle logo, and let's see. We're going to want to press scale, or excuse me, S on your keyboard to bring up scale. And you're going to want to press U on your black solid, and what this is going to do is going to bring up your keyframes that you've added, and it's already automatically added all of these for you. So so what you actually want to do is, I like to go into our graph editor right here and make sure that your output is selected. Now you'll start to see all these keyframes. It's basically going up, down, blah, blah, blah. If you press this button right here, fit all graphs to view, it's going to let you see everything, but we don't want that. So let's just kind of zoom in so we can see it a lot better. Okay, so this point right here is at about, I think that's at 861. Yeah. Okay, so this is at 624. What you can do is change your graph, and it should already be set to edit value graph, but make sure it's somewhere around there. And now you can see that the top of when it hits, or whenever the bass hits, is at 80 units. And the lowest part is probably going to be somewhere around 0. In this case, it's 20. So just keep that in mind. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go into our output, and we're going to hit where the output 1 is. We're going to hit Option or Alt. If you have a Mac, it's like Option Alt. Just hold that and then click your little keyframe button. So now we're going to be able to address a command here. So what we're actually going to want to put linear, open bracket value, and then you're going to want to press 0, and then I want to say you'd go up to about, in this case, since we're using, actually, excuse me, since the lowest value we had, I think we said was like 20, it was like 20 something, so just press 20, and then the highest value we had was somewhere around 80, so you can just press 80, and then do comma again. Now what we want to do is we want to figure out, since we're scaling this, we need to figure out how, like right now the scale is at 100. So if we want the scale to be at 100 whenever the value of this is at 20, we can just press 100, but I actually want to make it a little lower. So I'm going to put 90, comma, and then we'll bump it up. So whenever the value gets to 80 in the song, we want it to be really high because that's most likely the beat kicking. So we'll just press, we could probably do 130. So when we do, actually we'll do 120. So when you do that, just hit close bracket, click out of it, and now make sure your caps lock isn't on. That's what happened to me. And we're actually almost done. What we need to do now is we can get out of our graph editor, and we can go into our, let's see here. We have a little pick whip here, and we can make a pick whip appear here as well as if we hit Option Alt or whatever, just Alt, click on the little stopwatch, and we'll get a pick whip here. We're going to want to hold it, drag it into our output, and now it's done. So if you want to see what I mean, we can actually go ahead and hide this layer so we don't see that HUD. And if we play it real quick, you're going to see that both, since we kind of grouped the spectrum and the logo together, they're going to be moving at the same exact time as one, and that's really important. And you'll see in a second that it's going to work. It's going to be really cool. So just wait for this to load. Alright, it's almost done. Now, I've actually learned that sometimes it's not always accurate, and it's very hard to do, just because sometimes when the volume gets really loud in a song, it's not always the kick. So it's pretty accurate, but sometimes it might be off, and if it's going for a whole song, most people won't recognize it, but if it does become a problem, I guess you'll have to find a different way to approach this, but this works for me most of the time, so you'll get to see. Alright. So, as you can see, it works great, and with the really exaggerated scaling, it fits really well. So so yeah, and with the audio spectrum kicking out, it looks awesome as well. So yeah, that's basically it. You can go ahead and add actually like a picture behind it as well, just to give it a better effect. Because honestly, just a black background looks pretty bad. So we'll find a little something here. I don't know what to use. We'll find something. This looks really cool. I like that. That caught my eye. So just, save the image. Let me save it as London thing. Okay. And then just go into After Effects, import it, and then basically you get it. But if you don't know how to import a picture, I will show you. Let's see if this wants to load. Come on. Come on. I have to redo it. It's retarded. London. And sorry if this is really long. Like I said again, I apologize. I did not want to make it this long. All right, where is it? Retarded. London thing. Ridiculous. Okay, this is stupid. Alright. Come on. I'm literally just going to use... Oh, there it is. Okay. Hit open. And just obviously drag it in. And we'll scale it up so it's the same size. There we go. So, obviously, yours will look much different than mine. But with this behind it, it can look really cool. You could add some text giving the song name. And again, if this is something that's going like over your... This doesn't just have to be for music channels as well. This could be completely different. So let your creativity kind of take control of this. This is what I'm using it for. And let me know in the comments what you guys are using it for, because I'm actually really curious. But yeah, also leave a like on this video if you want me to keep doing tutorials, because I know a lot of you guys like that. But yeah, that's about it. And if you enjoyed it and you guys liked it, be sure to leave a like and comment. And subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.